We've had a lot of success with our punt team here for a while, and a lot of it has to do with Aaron Trussler, obviously, and what he can do with the ball and where he can kick the ball and the hang time he puts on it. So it's been huge, and like I said, he's a huge part of us. We've been running this punt style for a long time. Probably I've been doing it for about 14 years now, and we've never had somebody like the Aussie do it for us, and it's really kind of elevated our game.
What makes him so good as a punter?
Well, he's got a great knack of knowing where the rush is, when to get the ball off. You know, you can see when he catches a thing, his eyes are up, you know, to see, all right, what kind of pressure do I got? You know, where's the return guy? So I mean, there's just an act, but that's what they do in Australia rules football. I mean, that's what they do. They catch the thing and they're looking up, running, and then kicking the ball. And it's just a natural progression to the Aussie guys to come over here and do this rugby punt stuff.
And because of that style, the opposition has to be prepared for a punter taking off. I mean, because it always looks like
he took off one time, but they actually do, Rick. I mean, you know, but we would have to have it and understand that, because you still got to have it blocked up. But if you notice, a lot of people always have somebody eyeballing for fake almost every single time, because we have faked the ball in the past. And that takes a lot of pressure off our protection. It takes a lot of pressure off the Aussie there. So, but you're right, yeah, we could run it, we can fake it in any capacity. So we kind of back them up a little bit from really doing what they want to do, I think.
Do you also have a little bit more appreciation for any student athlete who is so far away from home that they come to this country and want to be part of this particular sport, even though, you know, I can't imagine when the last time was he was home. That's got to be difficult for any college student.
It is difficult. You know, the good thing, his parents get over here. And when they come over, they spend about 3 weeks. So whether we're on the road or home, and they get a chance to be around him. I don't believe he got to go home his first Christmas. I can't remember. But yeah, it's tough on them. I mean, it's an adjustment, no question about that. But this is what they dream about doing. I mean, you know, you got a dream and you say, I want to kick in America. I want to play college football, or I want to play, you know, this is what they aspire to do. So the transition is probably, you know, not tough, because so many have done it in front of him and so many will do it behind him there. So, but again, I know he was homesick. But he adjusted really, really well. It was incredible how he took to our teammates and they took to him pretty quickly. But I felt bad for him because he couldn't get. I think he was probably. Did he even say? I mean, he may have been here at least 1.5 years, 2 years before he got home.
Yeah, I think he's told us that in the past. As a program, did you guys accomplish what you needed to or wanted to with your bye week?
Yeah, I mean, we have 1 or 2 back, I think, for sure. We'll know. Like, for example, Andrew King, he wouldn't have played last Saturday, but now he's ready to go, which is a good thing. Morris Walker wouldn't have been ready. Now he's ready to go this week. So, you know, we did get a couple back. We'll see. There could be 2 or 3 more that we may get back. We'll see how they progress, what Joe says after today's practice, and then going into Friday's practice.
Everybody knows about the Delaware program. Is this year's team typical of what fans are used to expecting out of them, or are they a little bit different? What's the specific challenge with this year's team?
I think they're pretty similar to what they've been. They're always good. I mean, you guys know that. You've been around Delaware football for a long time. They're always good. They get good players. You know, the university, the facilities, they can attract really good players, and they do, and they coach them up. And it looks like a lot of people want to be at Delaware and stay there. So they have the opportunity to develop players every year. So they got good players. They're well coached in all phases of the game. You know, this will be a huge test, just like they all are. You know, the last 6 or 7 times we played Delaware, they're always pretty good games, and so Ryan's doing an incredible job building that program and getting them to move up.
Coach Huseman, you know who you start at quarterback Saturday?
Do not know yet. We're going to see how we feel today. I would say probably after Friday's practice we will know. Whether I tell you guys or not, I don't know. Kyle got a lot more work today, so we'll see where he is.
Got that. At what point, you know, what is the progress report in terms of where you expect it to be, in terms of, you know, how far along your team is and at this point in the year?
We are probably, I mean, you'd love to be 6-0 right now, but I think the biggest point of all of it is we're 2-0 in the conference. So that's obviously huge to be 2-0 in the conference and have an opportunity. You know, I told our guys, you know, we're playing a top 10 football team this week. You know, nobody talks about them as Delaware, number 8 in the country, number 6 in the country. They're a top 10 team. They just can't get ranked. And I said, this is a ranked on ranked game. They're going to take it that way, and we got to take it that way. So where we are, 2-0 in the conference, I'll take it, obviously. Could we be a little bit better? Probably. Have we played the best we can play each and every week? Probably not. But, you know, we got a good group of guys that are hanging in there with us pretty good.
Are you kind of sad to see Delaware go? I mean,
How many of those things you got there, man?
you go back and you had the 5 overtime game against them a long time ago. I mean, you've had some epic matchups against Delaware through the years.
Yeah, I was involved in that 5 overtime one, man. I swear if there'd have been a bridge, I'd have jumped off it. Because I was a defensive coordinator at the time too. So, and I was Flacco. They were good. The game should have been ended in regulation. They got one off. That wasn't off, but they gave it to them on a quarterback sneak. But we were pretty resilient and got the win somehow. But they're you know, all the games are like that. We played them in overtime up there, double overtime, one of my years here. So they're good games. This will be another good game.
Seemed like you let that play go now.
Huh?
Seemed like you let that play go.
Let it go. What do you mean?
As far as Flacco, you remember that very vividly.
No, I think I went up to Flacco and said, "Man, if I ever see you again, man, I don't want," because he was a senior then, I believe, and I didn't want to play him again. He hit down at City Stadium, 2 throws that were the most incredible throws I've seen a college quarterback throw the year before, and then he just lit us up that year up there at Delaware in the 5 overtime game. Great player. Best arm, unbelievable arm. The strongest arm I think that probably could have ever played the game. I mean, he had a missile.
Personally, did you get any time to yourself during the bye week? Anything?
Well, we gave everybody had last Saturday off, players, coaches, everybody. So I got to sit in my chair and watch football and you know, and kind of hang out. You know, my kids are all grown, and so it wasn't like, you know, they even wanted to be around me, to be honest with you. So it was just kind of me and my wife, and kind of went from there.
Aaron, last I checked, the Spiders ranked 2nd in net putting in FCS. Why is that?
There's so many different reasons why that's the case. I mean, we have a lot of gunners down there. That's really great. Our snapper's doing a really good job. Brian's killing it. And I think I'm just getting a little bit more aggressive this season and trying to get some extra yards. I think in the past I probably would play a little bit safe and try to get 40 yards fair catch. But, you know, if there's open field, I'm trying to get a little bit more distance on those.
The idea is to kick away from the receiver, or not always?
No, not always. Honestly, it's case by case. I don't go out there and think I'm going to kick this away or kick it towards. It's sort of looking at what the returner's doing and the stage of the game. There was one against NCAT where I probably would have loved to kick across the body, but it was late in the game. We really just needed a fair catch, so it's case by case, yeah.
Hey, when you looked at what might happen after your arrival in Richmond, is this as good as it could have gone, or would you hope for more?
It's gone not exactly how I thought it would be, but in terms of the ups and downs, is pretty consistent with what you think it is. Honestly, though, you can't predict what is going to happen. There's so many different things that can happen in college football, and it keeps changing every year. So yeah, I think that part of it, the unpredictability, is definitely, I don't know how to word it, but like has been predictable in that way.
Hey, lastly from me, now obviously in the NFL only your gunners can go down on the punts. Is that why there are no rugby style kickers in the NFL?
I would suggest so. I think also there's a lot of back blocking with the shield, and we sort of dip and rip. That technique is a little bit different as well. I saw a little bit, the New Orleans Saints have Matthew Hayball, he's an Aussie, and recently they put out a rollout that looked kind of similar to what we have, but just with the two gunners. It'd be cool to keep seeing that, but yeah, right now it's a lot of pro style.
You've seen plenty of success on this team in the last couple of years. What tells you that this year's team can have that same kind of success?
I mean, it's the same mentality. Like, we have, nothing really changes with us, even though obviously the players change and everyone graduates and all that sort of stuff, but the system that we have, the energy that we have is consistent. Even when we were losing in my first season, like, there was still high energy, there was still like strong belief that we were a great football team, and that's carried through all 4 years.
Off the bye week, how do you feel about what's going on here this week coming to Delaware?
Pretty good. I really feel like the team has came together in this bye week. Obviously we got a lot of rest off, so it's good to be able to come back out here and compete for another opportunity. So it's going to be good.
What did y'all work on specifically during the bye week?
Honestly, in terms of our offense, just making sure we have the little things down in terms of our plays and everything. Just making sure with all our runs, everybody's on the same page. So just making sure that everything is coming together as a team so we can be a successful offense, and defense I know is doing the same.
How do you feel physically, because you were banged up a little bit against A&T?
I feel pretty good now. I did a lot of treatment and recovery over the bye week, so body's feeling back to pretty much 100%, just slowly working my way up more and more physically. So I'm starting to feeling that twitch I had against A&T.
Can you describe the feeling of being able to go for 300 yards on the ground as a team? Does it just feel like everything is going to be at least 6 or 7 yards downfield?
I mean, it's crazy because I feel like in practice we worked so hard running the ball. I just knew that there was going to be a game that we just popped off in terms of our rushing yards and our touchdowns and everything. Me and Zach, we worked, and the rest of the group, Jamal and Aziz, we worked really hard at practice and watching film and things like that. So I knew that eventually we were going to come out and have a good rushing yard game.
Now, having said that, A&T is a different challenge than you have this Saturday. What's different about how Delaware looks like they will defend you?
I mean, obviously Delaware's a pretty strong, pretty physical team. They run around, they fly around, but we know we have the guys up front to block for us, and we know that us as players, we have the playmaking ability to come out against Delaware and just be those same guys who were against A&T in the games prior. So.
It seems like we talked about for years, if the starting five stayed healthy, it could be a pretty good offensive line. This year seems like they are backing up what we all thought they could be.
Yes, sir.
What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like those guys, again, treatment, recovery, they take a lot of time on their bodies, and I feel like that's the reason why they've been able to come out and just be successful on the offensive line and block for us and our quarterbacks and our receivers. So those guys up front, they do a lot. They do a lot for our offense, and it's great to see that they're all pretty healthy, all coming together. So.
Your O-line coach came from Harvard, where they ran the ball, and he is known for running the ball. How much difference is there from last year to this year, and what's changed?
I just feel like this team, is a lot more run oriented. Obviously, last year they had a lot of guys prior to me and Zach Savon, guys like that. But I feel like this year we have the guys to really be playmakers while rushing the ball, as well as receivers that are still doing their thing as well. So
it seems like you guys in the backfield are each other's biggest fans. Like, one guy scores and you're there, or he's there to be the first one to congratulate you. Is that because of the understanding that you have at that position? You know specifically how difficult and how much has to go right to be able to have a big play? Oh yeah, me and Zach and Jamal Aziz, we all support each other. Even in practice, whenever somebody makes a big play, we're always uplifting each other. So it's cool to see that when the game time comes, we're all like coming together. It's a great camaraderie in that running back group. And then even in camp, Coach Rashid talked a lot about we got to win together. The only way to be successful this season is if we're all meshing and we're there together. So I feel like when it comes to the games, we're all supporting each other, being there for one another. When we mess up, somebody's always giving you a pat on the back regardless. So
how competitive is that?
It's competitive. We push each other every single day in the field, on the field, in film. We're always trying to make one another better, and I think that's what makes us better as a group and individually. So I just feel like we're always pushing each other. We're even pushing guys outside of our room as well. So and then obviously Coach Rashid, he pushes us very well too. So
You're just a freshman. Did you expect this? Did you think you would be having a 100-yard game by mid-season of your first year?
I mean, I feel like I put a lot of the work in the summer, and then I knew coming in, my coaches would have a lot of trust in me, and have a lot of trust in them as well. So coming in, I felt pretty confident in my ability, as well as trusting the guys up front, and then Coach O, everybody, Coach Rashid, everybody just, giving me the platform to be able to come in and work and do my thing. So it's been a blessing.